Hello. Doing a little bit more in our house build saga as we go through on the two houses. I wanted to cover a little bit today and talk a little bit more about how we picked Subic, how I picked Subic, how I picked that particular lot. Because again, maybe it applies to you, it doesn't. I'm going to try and give you the progression of how first you pick a lot. Then you go through the legal ramifications of how you can or cannot build on that. What are the implications there? After doing that, selected an architect. How did I go about doing that? And then about how I finally picked a builder and how I went through the selections of that. And a lot of that was reflected through, I'm going to speak a little bit on Ian's behalf as well, because he did a lot of the similar type things kind of following through. So I'll begin with first how I selected the lot. While I was looking for a lot, I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted. I wanted a house. We talked a little bit about this in the drone video. I wanted a house that the back end of the house sloped away from the street and down towards the bay. So this way my view would be from the back end of the house. I can look towards the back of and overlook the bay that direction. It was something that is a little different that I had. Again, you might want a different view. Maybe your view would be a pick of mountains, and you want to pick of, maybe you're a big fan of the mountains here, and there are some beautiful, beautiful mountains in the area here. Maybe it's something like that. For me, I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Kansas City. I lived there for a little over 40 years. Then I moved to Florida, and although I was in Florida, I was about 5 miles roughly from the beach area, and I, of course, couldn't begin to afford a beach lot to look out onto the lot. And looking onto property there in Florida, you have to be on the beach to be able to see that, because there is no slope or incline. The only mountains in Florida are the ones made by the landfills that when they're made there just about. There's a few mountains, I'm joking. There's a few mountains towards the middle of the state, a little high rise, but they don't get very tall. They get up about maybe 400 feet, but that's about it. So again, this gave me the kind of view that I'd seen in San Diego, La Jolla, overlooking San Diego Bay. It's not San Diego Bay, obviously, but it gives me that type of view, that type of feeling that we have and enjoy there. So anyway, when I picked, we surveyed a few different lots. I could find lots in another area called Club Morocco that was there. My wife objected strongly to Club Morocco because it was, as she said, too far away. In her growing up, she's always wanted to be around other people, and by around other people, I mean, next door neighbor reach over the fence and share a cup of coffee if you're doing that, or share a cup of sugar if you're into that. So she likes very much being in a communal type area. This even affected us in Florida, where I lived in a gated community, and I kind of compromised between what I would want. A lot of U.S. citizens, North Americans, want to be on a very rural setting where they, the next neighbor they want to see, they want them an acre away or something like that. It's just a different environment, and it's a different pick. You can get areas here that are more rural, more spacious. If you pick, the price of the lots go up generally by square meter is how everything is priced here. And where I picked in Alta Vista is probably some of the most expensive per square meter of any area here, other than being in like a condo itself inside there where you can actually own the property. We pay about, at the time when we bought, we paid about 12,000 pesos per square meter. So, and our lot was about 350. The other lot was about 350. Actually, the one we're on now is 348. The one that Ian and Mel bought from us is 366, I believe. So anyway, about 700 square meters between the two of them. The woman we were purchasing from, and again, a lot of this it's a resale purchase, so we didn't purchase to begin with. And so she concluded that we had to buy both lots. She was not going to sell one. She didn't want to do piecemeal and do this. She wanted to be rid of all of it and done. So initial thing I'm thinking is, well, that's way too much money. I can't afford that to, again, because it would draw down the price of what I could spend on the house if I had to spend all that money on the lot. But then it soon occurred to me that it was easily within reach because I could sell the lot again. And the lots are pretty prime. I realized that if I bought both lots, I could sell one lot and resell it again to do that. Again, the comparison was we looked at different lots. We looked at ones at Club Morocco were about 10,000 per square meter. So again, you could, that's a substantial savings if you could go through and do that. But again, my wife didn't want to do that. We looked at one other area where it was actually about 8,000 to 9,000, maybe 10,000, depending on which lot you were looking at. And that was a place called Subic Bay View. The issue with that one is it had never been incorporated as a gated subdivision. It's just it's grouping of homes. They're kind of grouped like a subdivision, but there's no gate, no security, nothing in it. And by no security, I do mean no security. The experience we had when I was looking there, I was flying my drone, and 3 guys came walking down the street, and one of them was carrying a shotgun. And I thought they were going to take target practice on my drone. They were friendly enough, but it was like it sure didn't put a very safe feeling in your mind. So again, one of the things you have to consider is safety and security. How are you going to live? What are your choices? So again, when we picked here, we wound up picking the most expensive place that I could, was 12,000 per square meter. But that's, again, was a sacrifice that we wanted to make and do just so we could have this area. Well, anyway, that tells a little bit about the land and how we picked the property. So the next one I'll go through and explain how we selected the architect. Oh yes, I guess I should say, so when we sold the property, we sold that through Cindy Wong. Some of you may see her advertisements and different things if you see it. Cindy Wong runs a brokerage here that is Dreams Ideal. And Cindy actually is a legal bonded broker here. So again, you see some of the things that talk about, oh, there's no realtors here, there's nothing in here. Well, that's true to a certain extent. They don't have realtors and have a realtor board like we have in the United States or North America, but you do have brokers, and the brokers are legally bonded and legally bound by anything they sell. So by going to a broker, you are getting some protections when you're covering in there. So again, one of your things when you're looking at this is look for a broker to do this, to go through and handle this. Again, when we sold ours, we listed it with her, we let her list it, and it was in very short order that Ian and Mel picked up on the property. And I laughed because Ian liked the property immediately for the view, and Mel said it's too much money, and I agree with her, it's too much money, but if you want the view, you're going to have to pay for the view. Thank you. Like these videos, please give me a like. And if you want to send comments are always welcome. I'll look for improvements and how I can make myself better. If you do subscribe, you'll be able to get next in line when the next video is coming back out again. Yeah, you're right. We usually have them both. Oh, yes.
So we got here just in time as the sun was coming out.
Yes. Well, we'll let them know that the stuff's in the back of the car. Hello. We brought snacks in the car.
Somebody wants to go and grab them in the back of
Cooler.
the car. Okay. Just the back of the white car there. Control plate. That's very odd. I've had an informant or an engineer.
Yep.
I think that's the first time I've seen that.
Yep.
Shooting on Saturday. Almost went down. That's what they're doing here. They're building uprights for you.
Yeah.
Say a lot of work goes into one of those. A lot of bending. So I'm told that next week they're going to bring in some metal plates. I wonder what that's going to look like.
I don't know. There's some more footings.
You're better off here.
Yeah.
Slippery as heck.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the most difficult one. You've got one more
I've got, yeah, up here, yeah.
right where that rock is.
Right about the back of the shed, yeah. Like you were saying, they'll have to move the shed at some time. So there, they're getting ready to put your columns above the block. I'm not sure how much more block goes up there at the back of yours.
With the car, and the car's level, the door's level.
Yeah. Well, at least he's got Crocs instead of. Okay.
The way he's just teetering on the edge there.
Yan, yan. Kompleto na. Kompleto na, kumain ulit tayo.
Oo. Hindi pa kayo
Kompleto na kayo. Kompleto na ulit.
Babalik na lang kayo. Hoy, dalawa tayo.
You know, it's amazing how quickly the heat picks up.
Yes,
Not 10 minutes ago,
it was
dark
cool and dark with the rain, and a few minutes later, and the temperature's rising. So we'll go up here and get a good shot down this fence row, because this is the first time we can see where the fence is going to go, final destination. You can see the footings already poured all the way up
So
here.
I see a lot of trees and shrubs in my future because there's going to be lots of room down each side for that sort of thing. I'm going to have to put something in to fill it in.
Or you're going to have a big concrete patio.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm kidding. I would have some kind of shrubs. You got room for a good size, several smaller fruit trees. A guy was talking about he had one. They were dwarf fruit trees, and they produce in only about 2 years.
Really?
So if you do the normal ones, they take like 3 to 5 years to produce fruit, right? But he said these dwarf ones will do it in about 18 to 24 months. So you might investigate dwarf ones.
I foresee difficulty there. That rock is going right through where the build is going to be. See how the rebars?
Yeah, they'll move it. And they'll come in with the jackhammer.
Yeah, that's
Jackhammer that, cut it off.
Probably it. So I can expect my hydro bill to go, electric bill to go up. Boy, that's a lot of work actually in a few days.
Yes. You know, they seem to make faster progress with the fence than they do with the foundation, which is good.
Yeah, the foundation is usually in a worse spot. Well, actually, not really.
Yeah.
In this case,
It's thicker rebar, more rebar.
so you want to see what your runoff looks like, the water runoff. You got a good shot of it here. Want to see what it looks like underground?
Oh, yeah.
So now we know how deep it is. It's probably a good 5 feet,
Yeah.
maybe 6.
6.
And you can see how it has the rock layers and then
Yes.
top
Bless you.
all over top of it. Nothing worse than a cold in the Philippines. And the improvised concrete delivery system.
Yes, yes, yes. If we're paying them for gold, it would look like a sluice. You are about street level right there.
At the bottom, but I mean,
Yeah.
the car is going to come in there.
Yeah.
The door is level with the carport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I ask some questions there. I think I need to be up to about the height of the wall right now to meet the street properly.
Yeah, probably.
We'll ask them on Friday. It's not like they're doing any more on this yet.
Yep.
So I'm wondering what that is all about.
It's going to tie over. It's going to tie over right here. See here? It's going to tie right back here to this column. That one's going to tie to that column.
And why don't we have one there?
I don't know. He didn't not tie in there.
Wouldn't that be where a lot of the weight is on the corners? Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the fact that it's a corner gives it more strength.
I don't know. As much rebar as there is, I'm not too worried about it anywhere they're doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's as much metal in there as there is concrete.
yes. Footing's pretty solid, and then you can see how it's staggered up, staggered up, staggered up.
Yeah.
Look at the.
So that's the kind of banks that we've been trying to climb up and down,
Yes.
so people get a good idea
Yeah.
of just what
How steep this is.